this war, a new danger I sense. Up to something, our enemies are. To protect the Republic, your priority must be find this threat. You must. Or all will be lost.
Hello everybody, welcome to this edition of Friday Night Silliness. Today we are playing Star Wars: The Clone Wars, and I know you're probably thinking, "But this is already the 4th Star Wars game that we've done so far," but I saw this game randomly on my Xbox Live account, and I think it was only a couple bucks, and I played it and I just had to cover it, so we're going to go ahead and do that today. And it's just me today. I gave Talon and Joseph the day off for Memorial Day, and so anyways, so we're just gonna go here through and pick new campaign, and I decided to play under Padawan since this is my very first time playing. I've never touched this game before ever, and so I'm kind of just gonna give you my thoughts and just my own personal review of what I thought about it, and kind of compare it to some other Star Wars games that I played and things like that. And
try not to get shot.
Here we go.
Let's not waste any time.
So,
I'm right behind
for those
you,
of you that aren't familiar with the Clone Wars,
Remember your training. You should.
it takes place after Episode
Alone.
2.
You never are.
And this particular storyline is one of the episodes
Small
in
platforms
the
are easy for a
animated
Jedi.
series.
Just jump and land. You
And the animation in this game kind of takes after that. It's not exactly, but it's pretty close. I can't remember who does. If it's LucasArts
Quickly use
or
the Force you
whichever
can
production
to push
company
droids or other
that
objects.
does that animated series of Clone Wars, or maybe it's like one of those like DreamWorks or Pixar. Or what, I don't know if it's them or not. But anyway, so it kind of takes after that.
Hey, Sky Guy.
When I was playing through
Good.
here,
You could do with some
I
lightsaber
noticed that
exercises now.
a lot of the gameplay kind of almost takes after Lego
lightsaber you
Star
have.
Wars.
Use it. You
And
must.
for
in
those
these
of you
troubled
that
times.
saw our highlight video from our January game night, we had a little bit of Lego Star Wars in there. And don't worry, we're not going to cover that one since this is already the 4th Star Wars game that we're doing. And I promise we're not going to do any more. Maybe. Okay, we probably will.
Double
but
jump
anyways,
to leap atop the super
so,
battle droid. Once on the droid,
the thing
you
I
are.
didn't like
Use your
about this
lightsaber.
one is that there's
Control
a
it,
lot
now you will.
of different prompts on how to play.
Fire
From
the droid's
Yoda,
guns. You can.
It seems like there was
Direct your
more
droid's
than
aim.
usual.
You must.
That was one kind of annoying little thing that I didn't like about it. Some of the controls were pretty repetitive, and a lot of hack and slash in this one. Pretty simple. I think this game is more for like noobs, like preteen age. You know, like around maybe 8 to 10.
Land on the staff.
If you're
and take it
looking
over,
for
you
something
can.
with a little more, that requires a little more finesse or skill to wield, then
Fire its
definitely
weapons. You can.
Star Wars: The Force Unleashed that we covered last week is definitely a better option. I'm just playing this anyways, just so I can, because I've never played it before, and I just kind of would like to play through it and kind of get an impression of it.
That was fun.
See how I
What now,
liked it personally. I
Master?
actually really
Time to
like
put
it a
some
lot.
of that training to good use.
I really liked Star Wars Legos, and like I said before, the gameplay on this kind of follows that same pattern, the way you go through and walk through a map and stuff.
That was easy.
Good job.
And then the
let's
controls are a little bit simpler
Whoa. That's
in
one big
this game.
titty.
Remember what
And
Master Yoda
this is one of
says.
my favorite
Size
scenes
doesn't
right
matter.
here.
When the foot becomes stuck.
I'm sorry, I
ready you
had to
must
throw
be.
that in there.
You-
I think I'm going to give Anakin an achievement on that one.
Great. Now climb up that leg and take
So,
out the blaster cannon.
this game, I don't think it takes... Like, there's definitely a scene where they go to Ryloth in the animated series. It's one of the episodes, but this gameplay doesn't really depict an actual episode. It's kind of like it's its own separate story, but the story of them going to Ryloth is one of the episodes. And you would have to go... I think it's on Netflix right now. I don't know if it's still there, but you'd have to check that out for yourself to kind of understand what's going on in this part of the story during the Clone Wars. So that's something you'll have to check out on there. So we just kind of defeated our first boss, and it actually kind of took me a while
You could have left a few
figuring
for us,
out the
General.
jumps and
Sorry,
stuff.
Rex. My young
The cool thing I
Padawan got
like
carried
about this
away.
game is that it has like a kind of jump assist. You may have saw earlier that the prompts that Yoda gave you, how a Jedi's landing is easy, and well,
Let's
it
go, my
actually
young
does
Padawan.
help you when you're making small jumps, but if you're making bigger jumps, if you go a little bit too short, a
Up
little bit
walls.
too
Can a
far,
Jedi jump? Jump towards
you
a
will
wall,
definitely
and jump
find
again.
yourself
Time
falling
your
down
jumps you
a
must,
lot.
and reach the top you will.
And every time you fall down, it takes away 100 points,
the
unfortunately.
Jedi's path
But
is
you
never
get
straight.
unlimited. It's not like
But
you
allow the
get
Force
a
to
certain
lead you.
amount of lives. That it's
And easy
unlimited.
it will
So
be.
there's no worries there.
Let's
but
go get him, Master.
that was a problem
Go
that
on.
I
I'll give
kind
you a
of
head start.
found when I was playing. It was kind of frustrating at times, but eventually I figured it out. And this also is my first time playing
Don't
ever
get
too.
fancy,
So,
Snips.
It's just my style, Skyguy.
so I eventually figured it out. But when I did, it was no big deal. A cool little feature that you can do in this game also is that you can jump on top of droids and use them, which is not something you'd be able to do in any of the other Star Wars games. And there's a lot of Star Wars
When
games out there.
highlighted
There's
switches
like
are
Star
the
Wars
Force
games
you
for
can
original
use.
Xbox. There's Star Wars game for PC. There's even this old Star Wars that I played on. I played it on the Xbox 360 platform, but I think it was originally for Xbox original. It was called Star Wars: The Old Republic, and that's another one. Don't worry, we're not going to cover that one, but that's another one that some of you might like if you're really a big, huge Star Wars fan, and you will probably
What are
like that one.
those
But
things?
We don't have time to find
to be
out.
honest, the gameplay
Keep
on that
moving.
one's a little bit old. It's not really that great compared to today's standards and gaming and graphics and gameplay and all that stuff. This
Jedi
game,
better watch out. Nothing gets past me.
it's a little bit. It kind of takes place
Jump to beams
in
and
terms
swing.
of the
You
graphics.
will
It
begin.
kind of takes after
Keep hold of the rail to
like the
continue
original
swinging.
360,
Jump when
not,
swinging
or not
to
original
dismount.
360. I meant original Xbox too. So another
What
thing
a
that you can
mess.
Tread carefully,
do
little one.
is you
The
can
war
jump
hasn't left this
through
building in great
walls,
shape.
kind of like how
You
I'm
worry
doing
too
here,
much, Master.
and that's something interesting that you can go.
Look, it's
You'll
the
find
Jedi.
you'll find yourself maybe taking a few tries when you do it, but this
The
was
second generator.
oh, and like right
We're
here,
not alone.
this was another part
Stay focused,
where
Ahsoka.
this whole scene right here, it probably took me at least 5 to 10 minutes just to figure out this part, jumping across those droids, and it took me a while to kind of edit that whole thing out. But once I finally figured it out, then I got it. But so again, there's
Jedi
going to be
come
times
around
when you're
here,
playing
we'll
this
take
game
care of 'em.
and you'll find little frustrating parts in there, and but otherwise it's a
Poor
pretty
John
easy
Cheese.
game to play.
I
Like
almost
it's
feel sorry
not
for him.
really challenging. It's kind of, I would say, it's kind of more for like younger kids,
To droid jack the
like
sabotage
maybe
droid.
5th
Onto its
grade
back.
to
Jump.
7th grade.
Aim and charge the
And
droid.
I can't
You
remember what the
must.
rating on this. I think it's the rating is T for teen. But it's really just a great game for kids, and it's not that great for somebody a little bit older
Jump towards a
like
wall.
me who
And a lightsaber slide you will
likes
do.
something
Easy
with
it
a
is.
little more
Yes.
Try to keep up, Master.
finesse, like I mentioned before, and stuff like that. So there's a lot of just straight up just hack and slash, and it gets kind of boring and repetitive.
I'm gonna beat you this time.
Another thing that's kind of cool too is that there's little mini challenges as you're playing through, so you might notice the
Still have
little
to do better than
green
that,
button
Snips.
in the middle.
I'm just trying to make you feel better
When you
about
walk
yourself,
across that,
Master.
it asks you if you want to do the challenge, and you press right bumper to accept, and so anyway, so that is actually our video for today. If you enjoyed it, click like and
We did
share,
it, Sky
subscribe
Guy.
if you're
That
new,
wasn't so hard.
and we hope to
Get
see you next time.
overconfident, Snips. This is just the first step.